For many years, this has been the face for many cheap record players out there, as far back as the 1980s. And this one here is the original Chuo Denshi CZ-800 that started it all. There's your typical needle protector and then your so-called red cartridge. And you can see right here, this is the real deal made by Chuo Denshi. And this has been the most popularly cloned cartridge by many Chinese manufacturers, including JTC, YD, and even Banpa. And now, Banpa recently made a new version of that ceramic cartridge, but now it's been redesigned to accept a flip over needle. And here we have it, the Banpa BP2ATC ceramic cartridge with a flip over needle. It boasts the ability that it has one tip for LPs and the other tip for 78s. And it's only $11 on Amazon. So let's take a look at the tech specs. So as of this video, you could obtain the Banpa cartridge for only $11.29 with free shipping. And here's a look at the photos that they provide. And here's the tech specs. If you want the tech specs, just pause this video. And there isn't really any much info about the frequency range or the tracking force, but it is the same 0.5 volt ceramic cartridge. And now let's show it to you on 3 different scenarios, which would be typical for this cartridge. So here's the first scenario, which is the most likely usage for this cartridge. The typical Suitcase record player that's made by Skywind, and it is sold as a Crosley Cruiser, a Victrola, Ion, 1x1, and many other brands. In this case, this one is badged as a Magnavox, and this is your typical 3-speeder. It originally had a clone cartridge for the CZ-800. Now I was able to install this without any issues, since the dimensions for the cartridge is the same as the original. The only exception being adapted to use a flip over needle. And you can see it's a perfect fit. So let's put it on the LP side and let's test a microgroove record, in this case a 45. Now let's test an old 78, and let's put it on the 78 side. And I'll put the switch to 78. Now Crosley doesn't tell you this because this is the cartridge that comes with the Crosley Stack-O-Matic. And in this case, I've successfully installed the Banpa onto the Stack-O-Matic successfully without any issues. It's the same exact dimensions as the Crosley cartridge, as you'll see right here. The mounting clip is identical. So you could in fact swap the AUE cartridge for the Banpa. So let's test this with the 45, the same one as I did before. And now to see how it sounds on the Stack-O-Matic. now for the 78. Flip the needle to the 78 side and bingo. The power adapter for this one doesn't really do it justice. I have actually a much better one that doesn't have that grounding problem that it shows with this one. And now for scenario 3, the vintage record player. In this case, this is a 1970s Morse all-in-one stereo with a BSR changer. I recently rebuilt the changer and it has the head shelf from a broken Stack-O-Matic, which you'll be surprised has the same exact dimensions as the original BSR head shell and tone arm. So that's been retrofitted with the Banpa cartridge, and let's give it a shot with this. But first, here's a look at it. You can see in this batch they reversed the order of the needles. And now let's play the same 45 we used in the other two tests. Last but not least, the 78. So let's have that on a 78 side and bingo. Although I do have a suspicion that the 78 side may still be a micro groove tip and not the correct 3mm stylus that's supposed to be for 78. But fear not, you could actually use a standard tetrad BSR needle on this cartridge, and I'll show you. So when it comes to replacing the needle, this is a needle that you should get. It will work on the Banpa BP2ATC, as one user on the Turntables group on Facebook pointed out, as he also bought the same cartridge and he was able to fit this needle successfully without any issues. And this was made for all those thin head shell BSR changers that use that tetrad cartridge, and it will fit on the Banpa. And you could buy it for only $8.85 with free shipping from Stereo Needles Lady. I've let her know about this working with the Banpa cartridge. So that's the stylus you need to get if you want the correct 78 RPM tip, 274-DS73. Or if you want a dual LP, then change it to 77. 73 if you want the 78 tip, or 77 for dual LP. Now let's have a good look at the cartridge itself. And you can see right here it has that retention clip for flip overs. And see? It just slips. And now let's check out the Stylus Protector so you can have a better look at it. And there you have it. And let's flip it to the other side. And you can see right here, the connecting clips are the same, round pins, as that on the Chuo Denshi. And on the top, you don't really see any information about the manufacturer. So there's that going for me. And you can see the Stylus Protector is a slightly shorter version of the original P-188 and its clones, since it accommodates the flip over stylus. Let's put that back in there. Alright, now to move on to the web page. And that's my overall review of the Banpa BP2ATC ceramic cartridge with a flip over needle. And I do suggest you guys check this cartridge out, and you should replace the cheap Crosley cartridge that comes with one of these. Just make sure, if you do plan on playing 78s, get that stylus I mentioned so that you can play 78s properly with the correct size stylus. Thank you for watching, as always. One more thing. These are the cartridges that the Banpa BP2ATC will fit on. Your typical Crosley cartridge, the Stack-O-Matic cartridge, and the Varco TN4B cartridge. Those have the same exact mounting clip dimensions, and they will fit without issues.